Hey, I know, right? Another person talking shit about the prequel series, or not the prequel, the sequel series. I fucking love the prequels. I don't care what anybody says. The prequels are my favorite, but we're gonna be talking about how the sequels should have written the story, or how the storyboard should have went in Kathleen Kennedy's eyes. So the sequels are all the same, right? Or the prequels. The prequels are all the same, right? And it concerns the dark side, yada yada yada. But the the original trilogy changes a bit. So let's get started. I'm not good at writing stories, by the way, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Luke was a nice boy, a pure-hearted boy, always helping around Tatooine, going around on his little bike. He loves building. It's just a natural instinct to him, almost like it was in his DNA to build droids. Interestingly enough, though, he didn't like sand. He didn't hate it like Owen said he should have. He just dislikes it. He said, and I quote, I just don't like sand. It's cold, coarse, and gets everywhere. Owen winced at this. Owen says, don't say that ever again. Luke, of course, being the school prep he is, the Boy Scout, he doesn't question. Internally, he questions, but he doesn't outwardly question. The story goes as usual, except the change is that when he sees the lightsaber, when he sees his father's lightsaber, he questions. Luke doesn't just accept it immediately. Luke's like, yeah, right. You old man, how'd you actually get this? And Ben was surprised. This is nothing like Anakin. Anakin loved the Jedi, but Luke seemed indifferent to the Jedi. Luke heard all the stories. Hell, even overheard some of what the stormtroopers are saying. Some of the stormtroopers have said, "Oh yeah, those rebel scum were corrupt. Good thing Lord Vader saved us from that corruption." And of course, the stormtroopers being really the only police force left. Luke took that to heart. Luke listened to almost everything the stormtroopers said. He even said that he wanted to be a stormtrooper at some point, but never actually got up to it. Though he says that he should dislike Jedi, he can't help but feel intrigued to the idea of Jedi. So the story goes as follows the rest of A New Hope. Shit, what was the second movie called? What was the second one called? Empire Strikes Back. But in an Empire Strikes Back, he is a little bit different. He still wants to save people and everything, but he doesn't know how he feels about being a Jedi. He's accepted his role, almost as if he's forced to be a Jedi. He trains like a Jedi and everything. He meets Yoda the same way. Only this time, he's a little bit more defiant. He's like, so you're a Jedi, huh? A little guy like you? Yeah, right. All the Jedi that I've met, they're these big, bulky people. And you're telling me you're one of the most powerful Jedi? What a myth. Yoda looks at him and shakes his head. Like your father, you are. Defiant he was. You know my father? Huh. What was my father like? Tell you I cannot. And then Luke gets upset. Kind of like his father. Short tempered, but not completely short tempered. He manages his anger pretty well. Just the stress of everything has snapped him. Listen, if you're not going to give me any ideas, or if you're not going to tell me about the Jedi, then I gotta leave. Train you, I will, Yoda says. Luke looks back. I don't need any more training, little goblin. Yoda chuckles a little bit. Luke looks at him. What's so funny? Yoda sits back. Like your father, you are. Then the training commences, except this time Yoda uses his lightsaber and teaches Luke how to duel. Teaches him all the ropes that the Jedi have failed to teach Anakin. But something with this Luke, this version of Luke, is different. He attacks more head on. He's still defensive, like Obi-Wan. But when he is directly attacking, there's a glimpse of Anakin inside of Luke. The rest of the movie goes as follows. Empire Strikes Back ending, or not Empire Strikes Back, sorry. Return of the Jedi. Is that the name of the last one? Yeah, Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is an interesting ending. Everything goes as follows, you know. I don't exactly remember much about the last movie, except for like the final battle. Luke, as usual, is in his moody stage. Now let's skip to the ending because everything else is basically the same. Just Luke is a lot more questioning rather than accepting. The ending is the same. There's a big fight, yada yada yada. Except when Luke kills his father. Accidentally, of course. Luke accidentally is fighting. Sorry guys. But this is different. Luke actually is able to go head to head with Sidious. Vader and Luke are both fighting Sidious with lightsabers, as opposed to the original ending where he just shoots lightning a couple of times and everything. We get to see Sidious at his full attack mode. Now, obviously, this is taking from all his moves are taking from Revenge of the Sith, because obviously we never actually get to see Sidious sword battle in any of the original trilogy. We just see him looming in the dark. Tap into your anger, young Skywalker. Luke defies. No, I was taught to always use the light. Silly boy. just like your father, until I was able to convert him into the reality. What are you talking about? He was forced. I can still save him. Oh, Luke, silly boy. There's no saving him. The pain and suffering that he's endured for the past millennia is too much to bear. As Luke gets more and more angry, he realizes that Sidious is right. In order to win this battle and become the true Jedi, become the real chosen one, like the DNA coursing through him, he has to find the duality between light and dark. As Luke starts to strike down Sidious gets more and more unpredictable. Sidious is meeting his full potential. With every strike that Luke throws, Sidious gets more stronger. Luke's saber is slowly turning purple as a sign of tapping into the darkness. Good, Skywalker, good, Sidious yells in excitement. Vader tries to run after, goes to Luke, trying to stop him. But Luke, being too angered by the fact that essentially, in some metaphorical way, Sidious killed his father, Luke is able to cut off Sidious's hand. Luke, swinging blow after blow in Sidious, slicing Sidious up. Luke's lightsaber is slowly turning red. But Vader places a hand on Luke's shoulder. Luke, not knowing what's going on, and is too blinded by anger, accidentally slices Vader open. Vader falls to the floor, breathing in his robotic breaths. The ending takes place in the same position. Luke's crying, and Vader says, "Don't worry, my boy. Don't cry. This is how I've always wanted it to end. I'm proud of you." Luke, holding his father close, is disappointed in himself. His eyes are interesting. No Jedi has ever seen this before. It's not even written in the books. It's not even written in any of the tomes. But Luke's eyes are his normal color, but have the red lining like the Sith Lords. He hasn't completely tapped into the darkness, but to say he wasn't pissed off would be a lie. Luke screams at himself. Luke, looking at his lightsaber one final time, breaks it. He keeps the pieces just in case for self-defense, but he has completely quit the Jedi way because he blames Jedi for killing his father. He blames himself for the death of his father. Many decades later, all the movies play out the same. The sequel trilogy does its thing. old man Luke. The only difference um with old man Luke is his eyes. His eyes are have the red lining, but the same color. And then that's when he gets the proper ending. Sorry that this was extremely broken up, that this story wasn't as good as like sorry. Sorry that this wasn't as good as like Star Wars Theory. You know, their storytelling. I just thought that this was a better ending, especially for what Kathleen Kennedy did, because I always thought that old man Luke just being an old curmudgeon just randomly out of nowhere, because at the end of his last movie, it very much seemed like he was going to continue being a Jedi, and then randomly in the next time we see him, all of a sudden he's just not a Jedi anymore. Makes no sense. So I thought that even though it was not planned for Luke to be an old man, an old curmudgeon, even though Lucasfilms was going to probably make these movies um, using the end of his movie and actually making a proper sequel trilogy, um, but unfortunately we did not get that version of our story. So this is what Kathleen Kennedy's story probably would have been. Obviously, she'd probably make it extra woke, you know. But yeah, this is just the story of why Luke resents being a Jedi and everything to do with Jedi in the Last Jedi. Um, I don't think any of the movies titles would change. Maybe change the Last Jedi's name. No, not the Last Jedi. What was the? Yeah, the second movie in the sequels. That was the Last Jedi. Yeah. So instead of the Last Jedi, it would be called. Fuck. It would be called. I don't know. Maybe the Fallen Jedi or something like that. I don't know. It was just because the Last Jedi's name refers to Luke, but Luke quit being a Jedi, so like it would be called the Fallen Knight or like the Fallen Jedi. I don't know, but I don't think any of the movie titles would change. Maybe, um, maybe Return of the Jedi would be called the Fall of the Jedi or something like that. I don't know. But tell me what you guys think. I don't know. I'm not much of a storyteller, so forgive me if it's not exactly up to par with your type of storytelling. But I don't see anybody else really doing this like to fit Kathleen Kennedy's trilogy into the actual main trilogy. So I thought this would be cool. But anyway, I got this idea from a video I saw about Revenge of the Jedi, which is the story where Luke puts on the Vader helmet and then is like, I am Vader now. So I thought that it would be interesting to like do a take where Kathleen Kennedy's The Last Jedi makes sense. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. Sorry, make sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on notifications, and yeah. If you guys like storytelling videos, then maybe I'll do more of these. But yeah.